We think the logo is honest.
I think we wanted to achieve that, and I think it was achieved.
Yeah, there's a sincerity and authenticity in the lettering itself. The descriptor Mara, written in a very clean contemporary typeface, while Angama, in a crafted serif typeface, creates this contrast, creates this intrigue again between this classical early 20th century typography and with a contemporary twist, having the over arches, fine serifs.
I still believe what allowed us to remain honest to everything that we produced was working with the Angama team, and I think it was a collaborative exercise, and maybe more than we imagined during the time. In hindsight, it was great to look back and think how honest our collaborative exercise was.
I think the relationship between client and supplier really became a partnership, which this day and age is quite a rare thing. And I think this relationship once again was all about honesty and authenticity.
And trust.
Trust was enormous.
Yeah. We had quite a task to live up to. The team had nothing that they hadn't thought of. We often challenged them and just...
We continuously challenge them and often get
we still will
surprised.
Try and surprise them along the way somehow.
Well, in the vast landscape of safari experiences and the amount of the number of years that we've spent understanding and designing in this landscape, we've done a number of projects, including North Island and Angora Crater for Nikki and Steve in the past, and here we're back again doing another project for them. And the idea was to really consolidate all the values that we've collected over the years and really distill a wonderful experience. And what I really like about this experience is that it's really all about the view. The entire site is perched on the most magnificent view type site. It also has a wonderful historic connection to the Karen Blixen site, which Nikki and Steve have probably spoken about earlier. Two parts to the architecture. One is the tent, the other one is the public area. The tent is a new version of a very classic tent, but beautifully proportioned and nestling comfortably, taking full advantage of the view. When you walk up to the tent, it looks like a classical tent, but when you look at it closer, the detailing has been handled in a very Italian, minimal way, allowing for Nikki and Steve's interiors to play a dominant role internally, with the quiet architecture as a backdrop. When we go to the public area, I think what's fantastic about the public area is if you look at the Karen Blixen veranda house, the typical colonial veranda house with the colonnade, the sort of Mathega Club model, this kind of historical background, we took this and we created a large veranda. The concept of a large veranda with certain volumes and areas internally that demarcate a particular space. So we have a kind of modern veranda house, a new version of a veranda house. The materiality also with the shingles on the roof of the shapes that pop out of this flat plane hark back to the sort of Mathega Club, English colonialism, Kenyan colonialism. So with this we have a particularly new archetype which has some modernity, but also has its links tied back to the old veranda house. The entire architecture faces and is a couch for the most spectacular view. Looking backwards normally can be a challenge, but there we have a beautiful pond which is lit up at night with a Maasai brick wall, which is a kind of an idea that came from when we were looking at Maasai architecture and the kind of handmade bricks that they use in the region. So there's that wonderful feeling of the building growing out of the ground, capturing the view, some modernity and some of the English historical background.
I don't think it will be a lodge like anyone you've been in. There won't be scattered cushions and layers and small little things. We've gone for quality and we've gone for design. And most of the items we have in the lodge has been made, yes, handmade in Kenya or imported by our friends in South Africa for us from Kenya. There's a lot of fun. Everything we did, we said, how's the guest going to experience this? Is she going to love the soap? Is he going to love the shower gel? How do the sheets feel? We took them home, we tried them out, we changed colors, we changed seams. Whatever is in the tent is perfect. And whenever we bought something, we made sure that it was typical of that era. Now, when I say that era, it means inspired by that era. We didn't go for antiques. We just looked at the time when Dennis Finch Hatton was in Kenya. What was around? What was the look? Campaign furniture, pioneer furniture. The queue for the decor started with a sink bath. Not the old-fashioned one that was in Karen Blixen's home, but the new one that Patricia Okwela designed for Agape. And when we looked at anything else, we wanted it on casters, things that could stack, could be folded up, minimal, anything that you could in a hurry pack up and move to the next safari camp. Of course, we're not going to move camp, but we had to put ourselves in Dennis Finch Hatton's shoes. What would he do? Where would he live? How would he treat his guests? And that's what we did. It's in the beginning stages and we know what's going to come, but it's going to be great and it's going to be fun.